Hey folks, in today's video we're going to talk about 4 ways that Demon's Souls has made me a better DM. Welcome to my video on Demon's Souls and how it's made me a better DM. Welcome if you've never been to my channel before. If you have, welcome back. This is going to be the beginning of a series called the DM Influence series. I'm going to be starting about how various different things influence me as a DM, the certain lessons I've learned that I just want to share with you guys. As I play video games, this is obviously video game Demon's Souls, watch movies, things like that, watch other people. There's lots of things that influence how I actually run the game and what I learn from them, and I figured that might be a good opportunity for you guys to learn some things too as I reflect on these things. For those who don't know, the PS5 just came out, PlayStation 5, and Demon's Souls was one of the first games released on it on launch day, and I played the heck out of it. By the way, if you're worried about spoilers, there may be some minor spoilers. There definitely won't be any plot spoilers. There might be some bosses or things like that that I refer to that hopefully, if you really care about spoilers and want a clean playthrough, this is maybe not the video for you, but I'll definitely try my best. Demon's Souls is known for being this really hard game. It was the first game of a series of the Soulsborne series. That preceding it was Dark Souls, of course, Bloodborne, games like that, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I believe it's Miyazaki who made them. And it was known for being this really hard game that came out in the PS3 era, and then they remastered it for the PS5 era. It was actually the first time I actually played this game. And for it being really hard, I'd played a couple Souls games before. I'd played Dark Souls, and I'd played Bloodborne before. For it being really hard, it was indeed a hard game. It was a hard game. There were definitely days where I was stuck on certain bosses or areas, things like that. And this leads me to the first thing that I learned about the game. The first way it made me a better DM that I realized is that difficulty is good. Difficulty is good. And what I mean by this is that, even though I had grinded many days almost, or many hours to get better at the game, what I realized more and more was that the difficulty forced me to get better. And as I got better in the game and got to a point where I was good enough to overcome certain challenges, when I finally did, because it was difficult at the time, it felt really good. It felt really good to overcome these challenges that I couldn't before. And so difficulty sometimes is something that I know for sure I'm tempted to scale back when it comes to certain games, because I really want people to succeed and whatnot, but sometimes difficulty is really good, and Demon's Souls really reminded me of that. That people feel really good when they're able to overcome something that's really difficult. It makes them a better player. It improves their enjoyment of the game and helps them experience it in a unique way, right? Instead of just scaling back the difficulty. No one really likes hitting the easy button. And I think as a dungeon master, sometimes we should let people make that decision for themselves if they want to. An example of this in Demon's Souls is a boss named the Flame Lurker Demon. He's this big fiery dude. He's in the trailers, so hopefully it's not too much of a spoiler, who jumps around and hits you, and he has all this fire and flames and whatnot. And it took me like 4 days to beat this guy. I literally tried over and over again, lost my experience, because that's what happens in Demon's Souls, because it's brutal, and then grinded a bunch, tried to get items, to get more health regeneration, to get to upgrade my weapon, and then when I finally beat him, it felt really good because he was really hard, and in my opinion, he's still the hardest boss in the game. The second way that Demon's Souls has made me a better DM is its use of environmental hazards. I love the use of environmental hazards in Demon's Souls. It is by far the most annoying thing in the game. If you ask people or you watch reviews and things on the internet, they will mention the infamous 4-2 world. It's basically stage 2 of the 4th world in the game, where there is, and I think it's in reviews and trailers as well, so it's not too much of a spoiler, hopefully. But throughout the 4th world, there's these sort of manta rays that are flying around, and they basically shoot you with sort of these arcane bolts. And it's the most annoying thing in the world because you're running around trying to survive already, fighting dudes, and all of a sudden from the sky these arcane bolts sort of fly at you from all different angles and things like that. And it's really annoying, and I've definitely been killed by it a good amount of times, where I've been knocked out, etc, etc. And what's really good about these environmental hazards is it's a new way of interacting with the environment that has challenged me as a dungeon master to try the same. Right, it's sort of this big problem that they reveal to you early on in the level, or the setting really is what it is, and they show it to you and they say, hey, this is going to be a problem. And as the level goes on, it increases and increases. And what's great is that actually at the end of the level you get to sort of solve this problem, right? You get to sort of finally face these manta rays that have been flying around at you the entire level. I think one of the coolest things about this is that often these sort of hazards are annoying and difficult to deal with and whatnot, but they're also part of the narrative. They're part of the setting. They're ingrained in the fabric of the setting, and so it makes sense that they're here. It's kind of the storm going on, they reveal it to you, and so it becomes this challenge in and of itself that's so much more than just sort of the monsters in front of you that you have to face. You now have the environment that you're also battling against, and I think that's a really valuable tool that we could use as dungeon masters in our games. I encourage you to try it yourself. The third way that Demon's Souls has made me a better DM is their use of NPCs. I love the NPCs in this game. I think it says a lot that even though the game is over 10 years old, that the NPCs in the remake, which are pretty faithful, I believe, to the original, are still so good. One of the most unique things about the NPCs in Demon's Souls that I really enjoy and that I've really learned from is that they're all on a journey, right? They all have their own story as to why they're here in this world. They're all trying to accomplish different things. And in that way, I think sometimes I'm challenged because sometimes NPCs are designed or created to help players. But in Demon's Souls, sometimes the NPCs don't help players. And even if they do help players, sometimes they don't stick around for very long. But you'll see them later on in different levels or in different places because they have different things that they're trying to accomplish as well. I remember this knight that you meet quite early on who gives you things and is really helpful, but he's on his own sort of adventure as well. He's on his own mission. Or there's this sort of holy man that you find at the bottom of this sort of pit, and he has his own reasons for being there and own things that he's trying to accomplish. And they're really great moments of human connection in between fighting all the monsters and demons and crazy things in Demon's Souls. But at the same time, it's a good reminder that not every NPC needs to, join the party. Infamously in D&D, sometimes the players try and recruit every NPC. I have this one player named Ben who tries to recruit literally every NPC to join their cause, but NPCs have lives and goals and things like that they're trying to accomplish. Some aren't even going to help you, or some might pretend to help you, if you know what I mean, but might really not be of much help. I think the NPCs in Demon's Souls are really good for that. They show up, they're around, sometimes they help you, but at the same time they have their own purpose and journey, and it makes the world feel really lived in. And it makes the world feel not just about you. There's a lot more going on here than just your story. Each of these NPCs have their own story as well, and it makes you kind of want to learn more about their story in that way. The fourth way that Demon's Souls has made me a better DM is their use of the unknown. Infamously in Souls games, there's this sort of white fog sometimes between places or right before a boss. And every time I go through, I don't know what to expect. I don't know if it's going to be a boss fight or if it's just going to be a continuation on this section or this level. And there's this sigh of relief every time it's not a boss fight. But every so often, you've kind of gone long enough, you see the white door and you kind of ready yourself for the boss. The white fog is a great mechanic that they use in the game that sort of masks sort of what's about to happen. Sometimes it's really good to tease or to sort of reveal from a distance what your players are going to be fighting and whatnot, right? So they can prepare for it. But at times it's also really amazing for them to just stumble into things. I think that's one of the joys of D&D is sometimes I walk through a white fog and then a cutscene happens and I stumble into the boss room and I have absolutely no idea. I'm not prepared at all for it. It's a scramble of a fight, and particularly when I win, that's amazing because like you had no idea this was here. kind of uncovered it, you know. And if you lose, then in Demon Souls you die and you try again, and you know next time. But their use of the unknown keeps you on your toes. You don't really know what's coming up next around the next corner. You don't know what's through the white fog. It keeps you on your toes, and this is a great sort of use of tension. The player is always sort of tense and unsure, and that's actually a really good feeling that they've accomplished that I want to try and emulate in my game as well. Folks, I hope this video was interesting to you, that was informative. It's something I'm trying out that's new. I play a good amount of video games, watch a good amount of movies and things like that, and figured, hey, why not make videos about that and some of my thoughts about how it can influence my DMing. If there's other games that you've played that have influenced your DMing or your playing, please let me know in the comments below. If there's any games you'd like to hear from me about how it might influence my DMing or how it could be helpful to you, let me know as well. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to stay in tune for more videos that are coming up. I had a lot of fun making this one, and I'm planning on making more. So until next time, folks, keep rolling.